Why do incredibly smart people build the exact traps that ultimately destroy them?
That is the million-dollar question today.
Literally, I mean, it is Thursday evening, and babes, the stakes are just so incredibly high.
The chaos is peaking.
It really is, because it is the finale. Snark Squad, welcome back. We love you so much.
We truly do.
Thank you for being here. And babes, this show is for everyone.
Exactly. The gals, the guys, the gays, and the theys.
Yes, this is your official invitation. So go ahead, open your phone and share this with a messy friend right now.
Because they absolutely need this energy.
They need it to survive the week. And babes, the drinks are flowing today.
The vibes are highly elevated.
So elevated. And yes, we are feeling like absolute royalty tonight because, babes, we're sitting here in the studio in our prettiest, most dramatic fur coats.
It is 90 degrees outside, but inside, it is pure glamour.
I am giving you Winter Widow in Aston, who just inherited a massive estate. Pause. Like, let that land for a second.
It is a strong visual.
Okay.
And functionally necessary for the level of high-stakes paranoia we're dealing with.
Oh my God, totally. And speaking of high stakes, if you could see our desk setup right now, it is giving finale night.
Producer Allison has placed two identical, unmarked wooden boxes right in the middle of our table.
I am already sweating, and it is not just the heavy synthetic fur.
Allison put a $10 bill in one of these boxes.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, we are going to choose a box and open it live on the mic.
I am so stressed about it. But also, I don't even have tension because I already know.
You know?
I do. I can literally feel the kinetic energy radiating off the box on the left. It is a spiritual connection at this point. I just know it.
Analytically speaking, you have absolutely zero spiritual connection to a mass-produced wooden box.
I do. The vibes are telling me.
It is a 50-50 probability. You have a 1 in 2 chance of being right, but your unnecessary confidence right now it's a clinical level of delusion. You are looking at that box the way Cat looks at a fake clue. You've just constructed an entire reality based on nothing.
I completely reject your negativity. I am manifesting the $10 right now.
We will see about that.
We will. But babes, before we get into the actual $1 million on the line, can we just take a second to talk about this community?
The Snark Squad has been working overtime.
Giving us absolute life. Like the messages, the comments, the complete chaos in our DMs. We are obsessed with you.
We are reading all of the extremely detailed theories, and I have to respect the analytical rigor of our listeners.
It's amazing. But I am actually spiraling right now, bestie. I am getting genuinely emotional that this season of $1 Million Secret is over.
You have formed a deeply concerning parasocial attachment to these people.
I have. Like, yes, I know it can't last forever, but also, why not?
Production budgets exist.
I don't care. I loved this show so much. I am already experiencing severe postseason depression.
It was a spectacular run, I will agree with you there.
It really was.
And we have to ask ourselves why it hit so hard. For me, it wasn't just the campiness, it was the claustrophobic paranoia.
Oh, the paranoia was delicious.
Watching the human brain's cognitive load completely fracture under pressure is fascinating. The messy betrayals felt almost Shakespearean.
The betrayal was high art, but because I'm already grieving, we need a new game show obsession right now.
We do. We have Survivor 50 coming up, which is locked.
That's locked, yes. But babes, can we get something new? Like imagine a Real Housewives version of Traitors.
That is the perfect pitch.
Yeah.
The psychological warfare would be unparalleled.
Right. Like who would lie the best? Who would get caught immediately?
Well, the baseline behavior for Housewives is already screaming at a dinner table.
Exactly. Teresa Giudice gets caught in episode 1 minute 5. She simply cannot hold a secret.
Her fight or flight response is broken. She would flip a table just for a distraction.
And who is crying in episode 1? Kyle Richards. Running out of the castle in a cape, hyperventilating in the Highlands.
It would be cinema. And Lisa Vanderpump would be the ultimate traitor because she understands proxy warfare.
Oh my God, yes. Having her minions do the murdering while she drinks rosé in the turret. Keep manifesting this, babes.
I will put it out into the universe, but right now we need to focus because the Cutwaters tonight are hitting beautifully.
The mango margarita Cutwater is elite. Let's do a live first sip reaction.
Cheers. Oh, that is dangerous.
The ABV on these is no joke.
That is a danger level of 10. I am consuming this way too fast, and the fur coat is radically altering my core temperature.
You have to pace yourself, or your analytical skills are going to degrade before we even reach the final box switch.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But the energy in the room right now is shifting. It is almost summer, and babes, we are pumped.
The vibe is resetting.
Yes. Let's do a quick Rosenthorn of last summer to cleanse the palate. I will go first.
Please do.
My rose was definitely tapping into my emotional main character energy. I was crying on a balcony looking at the ocean for literally no reason.
Pure cinematic release. Exactly. And my thorn. Accidentally texting a screenshot of a conversation to the person I was actually talking about.
That is deeply chaotic and entirely avoidable. A complete failure of digital hygiene.
It was so messy. Okay, what about you?
My rose was mathematically optimizing my apartment's cross breeze so I didn't have to run the AC during peak hours.
You are so rigidly structured.
It's pure thermodynamic efficiency.
Yeah.
And my thorn was watching someone at a pool party attempt to explain volleyball rules while being categorically incorrect about the court dimensions.
That is so petty, but I love it. So what are the goals for this summer? My goal is pure, unadulterated main character energy.
Naturally.
I want to walk into every room like I am holding a secret immunity idol that could destroy anyone who crosses me.
A fun visualization, if highly impractical.
Thank you. What are your summer hoops?
I want to successfully decline every single social invitation I don't want to attend without using a single fabricated excuse.
Just saying no.
Just pure, unapologetic boundary setting. No, I prefer my couch.
Brutal. Okay, so what are the summer mottos? Mine is so aspirational. It's aspirational wealth, emotional bankruptcy.
Highly brand appropriate for you. Mine is slightly abrasive but efficient.
Let's hear it.
If I have to explain the joke, you are no longer in my inner circle.
Wow, okay. Savage. But babes, before we get into the finale, we need to manifest season 3. What twists do we actually need?
We need structural mechanics that force deeper psychological warfare.
Yes. Bigger stakes. Messier players.
I want to see players who are incentivized to lie about their entire lives from the very second they walk through the door.
Oh, that's good, but I want more emotional betrayal. I want people swearing on their families and then stealing the money.
Well, you essentially got your wish with this finale because the self-deception reached a critical mass.
It really did. Babes, we are dressed in fur, we are slightly buzzed,
Yeah.
emotionally attached, and ready. Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it. So we kick off episode 7, titled Killer Croquet.
Such a good title.
And the big reveal right at the top is the new millionaire. The preview tried to manipulate us into thinking it was Kevin, but it's actually Caleb.
I was literally screaming at my TV. Caleb gets the money again.
And he immediately gives us this entire sob story in his confessional.
He does. He's talking about living on this 100-year-old farm with no central heating, no AC, just freezing in the winter.
And you bought it completely.
I did. I was reacting so emotionally, like, give this poor man the money. His family has suffered on this frozen farm for a century.
Okay, I need you to step back from the emotional manipulation of the producer's edit and look at the objective data.
What data?
The Reddit community immediately stress-tested this narrative. The math does not align at all.
Wait, really?
Yes. The man said it himself in episode 1. He is an award-winning real estate agent, and the internet looked up his town. He lives in a town of less than 300 people.
Oh my God, wait. How does someone win awards in a town with a population lower than my high school graduating class?
Exactly. This is statistical framing. Who is he selling houses to?
Yeah.
He's functioning as a monopoly, brokering same 3 farmhouses back and forth.
That is so shady. But what if he's selling, like, massive luxury ranch estates to billionaires?
Even if he is, that entirely negates the poor freezing farmer narrative. You cannot be a luxury broker and claim you can't afford a space heater.
Okay, you have a point. The structural shade of that edit is brilliant.
It is cognitive dissonance designed purely to manipulate the audience.
Well, whether we buy the sob story or not, Caleb is the millionaire. And Peter gives him his secret agenda.
Which was incredibly simple on paper.
So simple. He just had to initiate 2 high fives with the guests and intentionally missed them. Up high, down low, too slow.
And the show added this intense, pulsating music behind Peter giving the instructions, like he had to defuse a bomb.
It was so dramatic. Caleb's sitting there sweating, like, I have to play this really well. I have to stay under the radar.
Which is ironic, considering the first time he had an agenda, he was the loudest person in the mansion.
Seriously. So he goes for it during the croquet challenge.
Yes, Killer Croquet.
Yeah.
And croquet, as a mechanical construct, is inherently vicious.
It really is. The recap community was losing their minds over this.
No.
My favorite point was that our only cultural touchstone for croquet is the unhinged live-action Alice in Wonderland.
Right, playing with literal flamingos and pelicans.
Exactly. But here, they are dressed like a 1920s garden party playing weaponized golf.
And before the game starts, Daisy declares that there is a cool club in the house.
Oh my God, the delusion. She says it's her Caleb, Lauren, and Kat, which is peak main character delusion.
Because Caleb immediately chooses to target the cool club for his high fives.
Which is so funny to me.
It's an optimal strategic move. In social deduction games, you exploit proximity. You target the people who trust you.
Right, because their guard is down. So he goes for Lauren first, and he fakes the high five.
And she notices immediately.
Lauren does not miss it for a single second. She loudly announces to everyone, "Oh, that was cold. He fake high-fived me."
She fully clocks his behavior.
And I'm thinking, Caleb, your cover is entirely blown. She is literally taking notes on your physiological responses.
But then he goes for Daisy. And this is where we see inattentional blindness at work.
Wait, what does that mean?
It's a psychological lack of attention where you fail to perceive an unexpected stimulus in plain sight. Think of the invisible gorilla experiment.
Oh, right, where you're counting basketball passes and miss the gorilla?
Precisely. Daisy is so focused on the game and her perceived social standing that she completely fails to process the anomaly of the missed high five.
So she literally just didn't see it because her brain was busy.
Her cognitive load was maxed out. She misses the behavioral tell entirely, and Caleb gets the second high five done.
Right under their noses.
Yeah.
That is wild. So the croquet game continues, and Kat is absolutely bodying everyone.
She was highly aggressive.
Hitting those balls through the wickets with anger that tells me she has unresolved issues.
Kat, Kevin, and Nick advance to the final round, and the game introduces overt sabotage mechanics.
The advantages. Nick gets a literal physical mini-wall that he drops right in front of Daisy's ball.
It blocked her trajectory perfectly.
The sheer disrespect of the tiny wall, it was so petty. But then Kevin takes it to another level with the ball blaster.
He gets to physically launch Nick's ball as far away as possible, and he absolutely detonates it.
He blasts it across the court. Nick is completely removed from the probability of winning.
It was a coordinated strike by Kevin and Kat to keep Nick out of the trophy room.
And it works. Kat and Kevin make it to the trophy room, which leads to the 45-minute standoff.
This is a classic game of chicken. Two players on a collision course, both refusing to yield.
45 minutes. I would have yielded in 4 minutes. Sitting in silence with Kevin for an hour sounds like psychological torture.
They engaged in a battle of attrition. And finally, they resort to a coin flip.
The most primitive conflict resolution ever. Kat calls heads, she wins, and she gets the clue.
The clue reads, "The millionaire owned a clothing store and loves fashion."
Which we know is Caleb. He told us in his confessional that he and his wife owned a clothing store.
But Kat goes into absolute pure delusion mode. This is the catastrophic effect of apophenia.
Which is what, exactly?
The tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things. Because during croquet, Daisy made the error of discussing her hair ribbons.
Daisy literally pulls Kat aside in the middle of this high-stakes game and lists her ribbon colors. White, pink, red, and navy blue.
And in a hyper-paranoid environment, that sounds like someone executing a secret verbal agenda.
Kat hears clothing store and fashion and immediately cross-references it with the ribbons.
She constructs a false narrative that Daisy is obsessed with accessories, therefore Daisy is the millionaire.
Okay, but I have to challenge you. Is it really apophenia or just bad reasoning? Because ribbons are fashion.
It is apophenia because she is ignoring the larger context to fit her pre-existing bias. She already felt threatened by Daisy.
So she just took a microscopic data point and magnified it. She built a house out of one single brick.
Exactly. So she goes out to Kevin, and they decide to fabricate a fake clue.
Which no one has really pulled off this season.
A good lie must be simple. Kevin crafts this clue that sounds like he was possessed by a 19th century poet.
When wishing for a stroke of luck, don't forget the ones that fell short. It was so dramatic.
He sounded like he was auditioning for a school play. But the strategic intent was sound. They wanted to frame Nick and Daisy.
Because they fell short in croquet. But this is where Kat structurally destroys her own game. She overcomplicates it so much.
She goes completely rogue.
She sits down with Daisy, the person she thinks is the millionaire, and tells her the clue Kevin read was fake.
And she doesn't stop there.
She tells Daisy there was no clue at all, and that the reward was actually immunity, which Kat now has.
This is defensive lying taken to a pathological extreme. She adds so many moving parts that she radically increases the surface area for the lie to be exposed.
And sweet, trusting Daisy just absorbs this lie completely. She hugs Kat, thanking her for protecting her. It is so hard to watch.
Which brings us to the dinner of betrayal.
The tension at this dinner was suffocating. Kevin recites his little fake clue. Lauren says it makes her suspect Daisy.
And Daisy completely shatters.
It is a full-scale emotional crash out. She is hyperventilating, swearing on her parents' lives.
She is pleading that she's never seen that kind of money.
It was so raw. But the votes are cast, and Daisy gets the majority. She turns the key.
The lid lifts, and her box is completely empty.
And the entire social contract of the house disintegrates. Daisy refuses to take the high road.
She demands to know who voted for her.
She looks at Lauren admits it, and Daisy is livid. And then she looks Kat dead in the eye and pulls the pin on the grenade.
She completely exposes Kat's entire nested lie.
The clue was a lie. She got immunity. The collective gasp at that table.
Daisy scorch-earthed Kat's game on her way out. It left Kat looking like the most deceptive entity in the house.
It was glorious reality TV. And then Peter reveals that because they failed, Caleb gets his kill shot.
And who does Caleb shoot? He shoots Kevin.
Which is wild.
It is a massive strategic blunder. Caleb's objective is to remain undetected. Kevin is the only person who knows Kat's fashion clue is real.
By shooting Kevin, he removes the only witness.
Exactly. Caleb needs the meat shield. He should have shot Nick or Lauren.
But Caleb gets incredibly lucky because Kat's lies were so toxic, she became the meat shield anyway.
Caleb's bad move accidentally reinforced Kat's terrible move.
Yeah.
Which launches us into episode 8, the finale.
Yes. The next morning, the paranoia is palpable, and Lauren finally reveals her secret weapon.
A heavily tabbed, color-coded stalker notebook.
It has the empirical data of every single player. Quotes, movements, alliances. I respect the hustle so much.
It pays off immediately in the death pool challenge.
Which is a phenomenal challenge. Nick and Lauren against Kat and Caleb. One dives for puzzle pieces, the other builds it.
And the twist is that the pieces have trivia facts about eliminated contestants, and some are fabricated.
A pure stress test of working memory under physical exertion.
Lauren's data collection helps them defeat Kat and Caleb. And the prize is absolute power to eliminate someone.
This is where my brain short-circuited. Lauren wants to eliminate Kat because she thinks Kat is the millionaire.
A mathematically driven strategy to reset the money.
But Nick also thinks Kat is the millionaire, and his logic is the exact opposite. He wants to keep Kat.
He believes if he knows where the money is, he can manipulate the final box switch.
They are both operating under a completely false premise. But before they vote, Kat realizes she's in trouble and tries to interrogate Caleb.
With zero subtlety.
It was so physically uncomfortable to watch. She corners him and asks, "Are you a fashion person?"
You do not hand a suspect the parameters of the investigation.
And Caleb just effortlessly deflects. He says his wife handles it, they live meekly, and he only owns one pair of pants.
The genius of a perfect lie. It is absurd but mundane enough to halt inquiry.
And Kat believes him, so she goes to the elimination dinner empty-handed.
She tries to tell the truth about the clue, but her credibility is bankrupt.
Caleb capitalizes on it, calling her a habitual liar.
Yeah.
Nick and Lauren vote Kat out.
She opens her box, and it's empty. The physical shock on their faces when they realize the millionaire is still undetected.
It was so satisfying. Which leaves Caleb, Lauren, and Nick as the final three for Kim's game.
A military-grade memory test, memorizing 20 objects in a bureau.
But the millionaire gets an automatic 3-point bonus.
Caleb engages in satisficing. He aims for an acceptable outcome to avoid suspicion. He scores 12 plus 3, landing safely at 15.
Brilliant risk mitigation. Then Lauren goes in, and the pressure fries her brain. She only gets 12.
While Nick maximizes his performance and recalls 18 items.
But when Peter reveals the scores, Nick assumes Lauren's low score is a complex strategy to hide the bonus.
Nick over-indexes on strategy and ignores basic human error. But his victory gives him the final decision in the box switch.
The physical setup is so intense. Podiums, locked boxes, and Lauren executes a phenomenal bluff.
She deploys information asymmetry.
She announces, "I am not going to ask any questions, and I am not going to answer any either," and she goes silent.
It forces their imaginations to fill the void.
It's so badass. But Caleb decides to keep his box.
Then Nick pulls Caleb aside and drops a massive psychological disruption, I think, to you.
Caleb's face. His soul left his body. But how did Nick figure it out?
Nick remembered a meaningless poker game where Caleb played an incredibly conservative, risk-averse strategy.
Oh my God, yes. The guy who never bets wasn't going to give his money away.
A $1 million conclusion. Nick swaps his box with Caleb's.
The lids pop open, and Nick, Mr. New Jersey, future dating show star, wins the $1 million.
He structurally outplayed the millionaire at the last second.
I was standing up in my living room screaming. Which brings us to our segments. Segment 1, finale mind games. Who played the smartest and who completely spiraled?
I think we agree on who spiraled.
Kat, she had the real clue. And instead of building a coalition, she succumbed to cognitive overload and engineered her own elimination.
She engaged in over-optimization. As for the smartest, it has to be Nick. Synthesizing Caleb's baseline from a poker game was top-tier deductive reasoning.
Wait, I have to push back. Was it a calculation or just confirmation bias? He suspected Caleb, so he retroactively found a memory to justify it.
A valid counterargument.
Yeah,
But acting on confirmation bias yielded the correct result here.
fair enough. Segment 2. Trust issues activated. Who trusted too much and who trusted no one?
Daisy trusted too much. It was a psychological tragedy.
My heart broke for her. Why did she believe Kat's convoluted lie?
Because of the halo effect of the Cool Club. To acknowledge Kat was lying meant acknowledging her social foundation was a mirage.
She chose the comfortable lie. And who trusted no one? Kat again. She didn't even trust the actual producer clue.
Her lack of trust in reality made her turn on her closest allies.
Segment 3. Main character delusion. Who thought they were running the game but absolutely were not.
Caleb genuinely thought he was a silent assassin puppet master.
But he was completely insulated by Kat's chaotic interference.
If Daisy hadn't talked about ribbons, Caleb would have been caught instantly. He survived on the fumes of Kat's paranoia.
Exactly. He was eating catered dinner while the house burned down, thinking he controlled the weather.
Which leads to segment 4. Winning energy or lucky break. Was Nick's win strategic or pure chaos and luck?
I mean, he played well at the end.
But we cannot ignore structural luck. Earlier in the season, production introduced a secret agenda for Umeko that essentially saved Nick.
Okay, I hear your data. But adapting to chaos is the strategy. You have to ride the wave of luck without wiping out. He earned it.
I will concede he demonstrated cognitive resilience.
Which brings us back to our own high-variance environment, the boxes on our desk.
Producer Allison's $10 experiment. Are you sticking with your highly unscientific intuition on the left box?
I am doubling down on the delusion. The left box is radiating wealth. I choose the left box.
Very well. I will take the right. Let's test your spiritual connection against probability. 1, 2,
Wow.
3.
Oh my God, it is empty.
And look at this beautiful empirical result, a crisp Hamilton in my box. Your spiritual connection needs a firmware update.
I am devastated. I am crashing out like Daisy at the dinner table. Allison, I demand a recount.
We thought we cracked the code, as we always do.
We really did. I love that for us. Snark Squad, thank you so much for hanging out with us all season long.
Please share the show with your messiest friend and rate and review us.
Yes, please do. But before we log off, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought.
If you ever go on a show like this, do you tell the truth? Or do you fabricate your entire identity from day one?
Oh, that's dangerous.
If you have a sister, say you have a brother. If you're a teacher, say you're a politician. If the clues point to a fake biography, you can never be caught. Think about it.
Stay chaotic, babes.
Stay delusional.
And we will see you on the Snark side.